Independent MP Nick Xenophon has been detained at a Malaysian airport and will be deported from the country tonight because he's considered a security risk. Senator Xenophon says he was told by officials his human rights advocacy meant he wasn't allowed in the country and he will be placed back on a plane to Australia. He was told he could not use his mobile phone but defied the order and spoke to Sky News from the holding cell. Foreign Minister Bob Carr says he's disappointed by Malaysia's actions and has demanded an explanation.
Nick Xenophon was standing in the immigration queue at Kuala Lumpur airport when he was approached by officials. He was told there was a problem with his passport.
The technical glitch turned into something else. I was escorted to another area where there are holding cells. I was eventually told that apologetically by the immigration officials that I'm on a watch list, that there are orders from above in terms of security concerns and I have to be deported.
I think it's sad for a friendly country to deport an Australian Member of Parliament who was up there with peaceful purposes.
The independent senator was told his record as a protester for human rights was known, as was his itinerary for the week, which included meetings with the Malaysian opposition and pro-democracy MPs. That was enough for the Malaysian government to brand him a security risk, despite the fact he was also due to meet with senior members of that government.
We had meetings arranged with, ironically, one of the senior government ministers in Malaysia who's in charge of the election process, as well as the Electoral Commission, as well as meetings with the opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim, but it seems I won't be doing any of that because I'm deemed to be a security risk.
Senator Xenophon was due to be joined by several other MPs, in part to hear from groups concerned about the fairness of the upcoming election in Malaysia. The rest of the group has cancelled their trip.
Look, I don't know. We don't know the details of it at this point, and I wouldn't want to make any statements that will jeopardise his release. But Nick has had a long, keen interest in not just Malaysia, but in pursuing democracy around the world.
The Barisan Nasional coalition has held power for 6 decades, but it's been accused of manipulating the electoral system. Mr Xenophon says he has made the Foreign Minister aware of this concern, but no action has been taken.
I handed to Bob Carr just last November a personal handwritten plea from Anwar Ibrahim, who said that Australia is Malaysia's last best hope to try and make sure that the elections here are clean and fair. Otherwise, there's widespread concerns that the elections to be held here soon won't reflect the democratic will of the Malaysian people.
Well, I addressed that at the time. I replied to Anwar Ibrahim, but it's, I said at the time, talking to the ABC, it's not our function to conduct the elections for another country.
Nick Xenophon was caught up in one of Malaysia's largest political demonstrations last April when thousands gathered in Kuala Lumpur's Central Square calling for electoral change. He was close enough to feel the sting of tear gas in his eyes. He continues to be a passionate advocate for human rights and he believes somebody in the Malaysian government has noticed.
It could be the newspaper article that I wrote recently about Malaysia, the speech we gave about Malaysia, but I've always made it clear Malaysia and Australia are great friends. We are the best of friends. The Australian government is willing to do a people swap deal with the Malaysian government.
Whatever the strength of the current relationship, the deporting of a federal MP on official business could bring it under some strain. Tom Connell, Sky News, Canberra.